start a season?
About 3 or 4 times.
So it's not anything new to you to start?
I say that, but 3 or 4 of the programs I've been at, I mean, everywhere I've been, really, I've had that opportunities.
What's the biggest challenge for corners? Get thrown out there?
Well, they're going to be challenged. We all know that right off the get-go. But you know, if you're a player, you'll thrive in the moment. And again, some of the young guys that have been playing for us, you know, through camp here, have done a nice job. You know, I think this past Saturday was really good in front of our fans and how they handled it. I thought they did a pretty good job.
What's the most impressive thing that Cam has shown you this month?
His poise, how poised he is, how consistently he is at you know, staying calm even through the storm. When things don't go right, he keeps on plugging away. A lot more mature than a normal freshman.
Physically, what makes him effective at that position?
He's smart. He's athletic. He picks up our defense really fast. Again, the guys like him. He's well liked. So he's a good teammate.
Coach, those safeties, how much, you know, do you consider those 2 guys to be interchangeable, Ladero and Brian? And is that how you want to operate, to have 2 guys?
I'm sorry.
Do you consider your safeties, the 2 you've got, to be interchangeable? And is that how you like to have them?
There's strengths and weaknesses to both of them, but basically they do both. They do the same things.
Is that what has to happen in this system?
Absolutely. Especially when you play so many offenses that are up tempo, and not to pigeonhole the guy. Hey, look, you're a run guy, you're a pass guy. There's so much motions and shifts and stuff. So basically, they know both, and they basically play left and right safety. Really, for the most part.
Has that kind of changed in the last 2 years?
I like doing that. I like doing that because again, it helps you prepare. It helps you be able to make the adjustments as the game comes. You know, you're not just one-dimensional. So it's worked in the past.
And do you, you talked about the tempo, the spreads, do you think it's kind of phasing out the Steve Atwater types, you know, the 230-pound thumpers? Is there not?
God, I hope not. God, I hope not, because we still need guys like that. And no, I just think, again, I think that the more a guy can be more flexible, being a run guy or a pass guy, and then when they switch position, you know, whether the offense is going really fast and being able to play all the techniques, all the coverages, whether you're playing, you know, whether you're coming down and defending the run, like I'm telling you, and also versus the pass.
Where the tight end goes in motion, it doesn't change everything.
It doesn't really matter.
And Jerron Tony, he's a guy that, you know, doesn't get a lot of attention, but it seems like you just can't get him out of the lineup. He's steady, he's solid, and you know,
he's a very consistent kid, very consistent player. He's on all our special teams. Coaching staff is always fighting to put him on their teams. That's always a good sign, because you can't play defense unless you're really wanted on special teams. He's a guy that's been very consistent.
How unique of a position is that nickel? I mean, is it a much different skill set? I mean, can a guy easily slide in from corner and do it?
No, you got to have a combination of a lot of things. Number one, you have to be physical because you're closer to the ball and you're involved in more of the run games as you would if you were a corner. You got to be able to cover. You got to be able to blitz. You got to be able to go and make checks. In our defense, you're kind of like a safety linebacker. So you're tied into both the run and the pass, and you have to communicate very well.
And we're all talking about Cam Sutton, but how are the other 2 young guys? Malik, how is he progressing? And Michael Williams is a guy that I know had the shoulder issue. How has he come along?
Again, I don't want to talk about the injuries, but Malik Foreman's doing a nice job. Devon Swafford is doing a nice job, and Lehman Johnson, Tino Thomas. They've been getting some reps. It's a work in progress for those guys. And, Malik and Devon are getting the same amount of reps that Cam are getting. So they're picking it up though.
Yeah, looking at your impressions of Brian Randolph, what are you going to see of him now and also in spring practice?
The consistency that he's brought, his retention of our package, and his leadership.
Can you tell, is he thinking about the knee at all when you've seen him in practice?
No, I don't see it at all. No, he's been very confident and moves around really well, and his physicality shows up. Not at all.
What one guy has really stood out to you in this camp part? Obviously, it's a grind, it's practices in so many days. Is there somebody that's really?
You know, there's obviously in all the practices, there's always been one or two guys that has had a pretty good day. But I would say on a consistent basis, it's been Justin Coleman and Brian Randolph. It's been there. Some of the guys have had some nicks and here and there, missed the practice, but those two guys have been the most consistent.
With Darryl, he kind of started to separate himself, I guess, a little bit from Byron in that battle. I know game week approaching.
I don't think so. I just think that they're right there, you know, and they're going to play. And both are going to play a lot. So.
How do you envision that working out? I mean, do you see one of those guys playing, spelling both of them off the pitch?
We'll see how it goes, but again, they'll play. They'll play.
Brian, do you have to worry about him kind of managing him early on, coming off the injury last year, or do you feel like it's a situation where he can come in and pretty much play the whole game?
I think he's done a great job, and he's been really good in this camp, but no limitations.
Yeah. With Michael Williams out, how much has that affected the depth of the corner?
A lot. Yeah. Mike has had, he was having a great camp up until the time that he's been, since he's been out. So, but there's been some guys that got to step up.
But had he been a surprise? I mean, were you pleasantly surprised with what you had seen from Williams up to that point?
Absolutely.
I mean, did you kind of know coming in he might give you that kind of?
I didn't, but I know that Mike is a very conscientious kid. He really worked hard in the summer. A lot of the guys have said that, and it showed when he came back. So he'll be sorely missed. Hopefully he get back as soon as he could. He can.